What's up, y'all? We have another we're recording today. Man, I spent all day working on the church YouTube channel.
I found his camera lens that he's looking for, eating pirate cookies. He got have one. It's not like the actual booty. It's like not like their butts. That's what pirates call their treasure.
Spent all day working on the church's YouTube channel, and it was a lot. I mean, like a lot. Link of the church's YouTube channel will be in the description if you want to check it out. I don't have a before and after. I think I did pretty good. I changed a lot of stuff, cheapies. I'm gonna see what they say about it.
In your office?
No, when I was in the living room.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was there for about 4 hours, cheapies.
Whoopee.
Yeah.
Did you read my book?
Yeah.
What's it about?
Yo.
You related to the cruises?
No.
5 minutes later.
Hello. Well.
What's up, my dude?
This is part 1 of the Uber blog. This is what we're doing today.
Why you got the seat up all the way up?
Everybody has a complaint about that seat. Everybody moves it. My wife says when my guy Devin sits in here, he puts it all the way to the floor. And then all the way back, he's pretty much laying down.
Yeah.
And she's like, who the hell sits here? So then she puts it all the way up to the front. So you ready for do this or
What announcements we got? A growth track?
we have last week the whole video was about discipleship and mentorship and how important it was, right? And I was thinking today, I was thinking today, okay, we talked about how important it was, but we never talked about what it was. You know what I mean? I mean, I touch bases about like, okay, so every church does it different, everybody does it different. There's millions of books, there's millions of like YouTube videos. You can study as much as you want, but there's so many different ways people do it. Yeah. So many different ways people see it. Okay, what's another word for discipleship and mentorship? Because I feel like those are churchy titles. Outside of the church, they would call it something different.
A sponsor?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I feel like a sponsor, you give money or something.
And for only 39 cents a day, you can provide water, food, and medicine for these people.
No, because you're giving something that you're not gonna get back.
I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, but let's see. What's another word?
We'll call it mentorship. Talked about how important mentorship is. We talked about how it's a saturation of just information about mentorship.
Yeah.
But now, what is mentorship? I want your unbiased opinion without hearing what I said first.
Okay. I believe mentorship, or you want just in general, or somebody being a mentor to somebody?
The answer to your question is yes.
Okay. A mentor or a mentorship is somebody that gives of himself without expecting anything back.
That's good.
First. I'm going based off of my experience with my mentor professionally. Okay. I'm a dog trainer, right? And when I went to school for it, to the animal behavior college, I read everything online, you know, the books and all that stuff, and did the test, passed with flying colors. But it wasn't until they set me up with an actual mentor that everything that I read made sense. Okay. So she not only gave me her 30+ year experience, you know, all her information. Okay. She expected me to run with it. You know, and eventually, obviously, she hired me because the information that I took, I applied it to my own to my own life or to my own dogs, and she saw the fruit of it, and she's like, okay, you're ready. You can now.
She saw the evidence of her hard work.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, now you're ready. I need you on my staff. I think that's what the church is lacking. People that are willing to say, okay, here it is, everything that I've learned.
Everything that got downloaded into me.
Yeah. Here it is. But not only just told me about it, showed me, took the time to be like, look, see, and I'm going to say dogs. I'm going to use the dogs because that's my profession. That's what I've learned how to read, how to interact with a lot. She took the time to, you see that dog? You see why he's lipping? Why is he turning his head? Why is he scratching? She was constantly challenging me. Mind you, I spent with her every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I was with her.
Okay.
In a classroom, in the classroom when she taught, and every class she was challenging.
So it's gotta be mutual.
Yeah.
So you gotta want to, but also the one that you're pouring into has gotta want it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I notice a lot, especially like in my leaders, is that they'll tell me like, man, I'm trying to contact this person, I'm trying to call them, I feel like I'm always on them, but they're not responding. And to be honest with you, what I tell them is that then you gotta let them go. Then separate yourself. I mean, don't sit there and block them or like avoid them.
Right.
But let off. Because the moment that they feel that you're no longer there, then they start to wonder what happened. It's kind of like that syndrome where they say you never know what you got until it's gone. And that's one thing that I had to learn the hard way, is that when somebody doesn't want it, then you gotta step away. Yeah. Because then you're wasting your time. Right. Then you're wasting all of, like what you said, the 30 years and so many years that you've taken to learn something, to try to give to somebody that doesn't want it or care for it or anything like that. Yeah. And I think that comes with time to gauge that, right? Yeah. It's not like 3 weeks. You don't say like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, because you never know the person's like life, right? You never know what the person has been through. You never really know what layers you have to break through. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be just, okay, I want to disciple you, let's go read the Bible. It can just be like, hey, let's go watch a movie, let's go hang out, because that's something else that we did. We started hanging out. She started to get to know my wife. She started to get to know my family. We would go to the farm and hang out with sheep. Sheep.
Can you spell that for me? Sheep.
Sheep.
Gotta go with the sheep.
Started working with sheep.
There's another thing that you said is expectation. Somebody that's gonna pour into somebody, going into this thing knowing that you're not gonna get anything back, but still having the expectation that what you are pouring into that person, what they're pouring into you, depending on where you are on the spectrum, you're gonna grow. Yeah. That's the only thing. It's like, I've poured into so many people for years that stayed in the same spot. And the reason why they kept coming back to me is because they like how they felt after we prayed. They felt clean, cleansed. But then they would go out and do the same thing over and over and over. I remember people would sit in my living room and be like, yo, I did it again. Or, yo, like, I just came from robbing this one thing over here and something like that, and I'm like terrified right now. And I'm like, well, first of all, what are you doing here? I feel like I'm an accessory now. What do you do? Dude, get out of here. Like, what are you doing here? Like, go to your mama's house. But eventually, sitting down with them and saying, you are here, and I've already expected you to be here. They're either gonna fall off because the expectation is too high, or they don't want to move, and you have to cut that tie. And a lot of people sit and wonder, like church hurt, right? A lot of people sit and wonder, like, why do I feel so abandoned? Yeah. But a lot of it has to do, well, don't get me wrong, sometimes some leaders are just not good leaders, but also, like, how much have you How much did you give back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you where your leader would have expected you to be by now?
I got things to do.
You don't work tomorrow.
Hi, baby girl.
Hey, Pastor Rich, how you feeling? I mean, how you doing? Let me know. Let us know. What's going on? What's good with you? You good?
At this time? No.
What,
Make a left.
Belmont's that way. Oh, Belmont's this way.
This guy don't mean
I thought it was on
direction.
Addison.
Don't worry
Oh
about
my
it, bro.
God.
It's always like this with him.
I feel judged right now.
Don't feel judged.
So the topic in hand today, right now, in this moment, this day. This is about mentorship, discipleship, pouring into people. Give us your, because you got some wisdom in it, right? You've been doing it for a minute, what, like 15 years? Off and on 15 years?
I just started last week, actually.
You had Marriage on the Rocks.
On the rock.
You had Marriage on a Rock. Pouring into married people. You got men's ministry.
Pouring out into those where they see hopelessness.
Why are you talking into the window? Why are you talking into the window?
I'm talking like I was talking.
Okay,
the
talk,
way I be talking.
Go ahead, say what you can say.
So, pouring into mentorship is where people themselves see hopelessness. You see hope. You never know where that person is in life. You never know what situation they've gone through or going through. It's just the midnight cries, the midnight calls, them calls where you really genuine call someone and ask them what's going on, what's taking place, where they at in their life, and just listen to their hearts, because a lot of times we ask where they're at. They start rambling and you be like, okay. But when you genuinely just sit down and listen and put an ear to their heart, then you start seeing that people need just sometimes to vent. And not always when they vent, you got to come back at them with a reply. Sometimes you just got to let people vent and listen. And just observe as they walk around in life, so that when you have the right opportunity to guide them or the right chance to tell them something, you got that time where you can explain to them, what would you have done different, or what would you do that can make a difference?
We have snuck into the church about 4 times now to record. Time for stage design. Figure out what we're gonna do.
And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on.
Who invited this guy? Who invited him?
You guys got it all.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
That is a wrap. 4 hours and 32 seconds later. All right. Come on, Cheeps. And it's a wrap. Michelle, get your puppy's phone. We had some really cool people to give their opinion about some really important topics. So we're gonna leave it right here. We gotta end it, probably get something to eat. And that's it. Peace, see you later.
I will keep on searching for my high.